The components shown on the screen is a piston. Firstly, the piston is fitted with the connecting rod. And then it is connected to the crank and the piston is placed inside the cylinder. You can see here how the mechanical parts are fitted together such that the linear motion of the piston is converted into rotary motion of the crankshaft. This arrangement of the piston, rod and crank is called a slider crank mechanism. To support this mechanism, the mechanical parts are placed inside the engine block. And then a special type of cover is placed above the engine block. Both the valve and fuel injector are fitted into the cover above the engine block. When the piston moves downwards, the intake valve opens, allowing the piston to draw fresh air from outside. This process where the piston draws in air from outside is called the suction stroke. Here the term stroke indicates the speed of the piston inside the cylinder. During the return stroke, all valves are closed and air inside the cylinder is compressed. This process where the piston compresses air inside the cylinder is called the compression stroke, which increases the temperature of air inside the cylinder. Fuel is injected at the end of the compression stroke. This diesel ignites immediately and then spreads. After spreading, it generates power and pushes the piston downwards. This process of generating power and pushing the piston downward is called the power stroke. Due to the inertia in the system, the piston moves upwards again. Now the exhaust valve opens and the piston expels the burn gases from the cylinder. This process of piston expelling the smoke from the cylinder is called the exhaust stroke. This cycle consists of 4 strokes, and to continuously produce power, this cycle repeats over and over again. An increase in the number of cylinders indicates greater engine efficiency. Today's vehicles typically have 4, 6 or 8 cylinders engines. On the screen, we can see a 4-cylinder engine. Here the pistons of each of the 4 cylinders are in a different stroke at the same time. That's why one piston always provides power to the engine. However, due to the differences in the motion of all pistons, unbalanced force is generated here. To centralize the energy produced by the 4 cylinders, each cylinder is connected to each other by a rod called the crankshaft. To balance the unbalanced force generated from the 4 strokes at the same time, a flywheel is attached to one end of the crankshaft. The flywheel increases the power when the power is low and reduces it when the power is high. There is more mass on the side of the connecting rod. The unbalanced force is also generated there. A counterweight is used on the side of the counting rod to balance this force. The valve opening and closing process is controlled by a pair of camshafts. The lower crankshaft and the upper camshafts are connected by a timing belt. This timing belt manages the valves of the engine at the correct time. In the process of rotating the crankshaft and the camshaft, the speed of the camshaft should be half that of the crankshaft.